Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Blackwing deck profile, which you guys have actually requested me to do an update version of this. And I have to say, thank you so much for 11,000 subscribers, and this is my favorite deck of all time. You guys have been eagerly awaiting the conclusion to the 30 days of deck profiles, and this is it. This is hands down my favorite deck of all time, and if you guys haven't seen it, there will be a playlist at the end of the video showing all the deck profiles we've had through all of 2019 that you guys should totally check out and see the 30 days of deck profiles. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell next to become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. And Blackwings are definitely my favorite deck of all time because of the artwork, how they swarm, and just how they can OTK your opponent out of nowhere and make a big monster now that is immune to everything. And this was actually, if you guys know the history of my channel, this is actually the deck that I built first when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I fell in love with the artwork of Armor Master. And Crow Hogan was a really cool character too. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Simo the Poison Wind. So Simo the Poison Wind is one of our newish Blackwing monsters that came out of Legendary Duelist 3. It is one of the best ones in the entire deck, being able to banish a Blackwing monster from your hand, put a Black Whirlwind on the field, give you an additional normal summon to be able to normal summon itself, and get you that search with the Whirlwind to climb the ladder for your Blackwings, which is extremely important to be able to do. But the only downside of this card is it does send the Black Whirlwind to the graveyard after you put it on the field during the end phase, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, I can understand why. They had to balance the card a little bit, and you can only special summon monsters that are dark for the rest of the turn. So then we play 3 copies of Chris the Krakodon. Chris the Krakodon, you just special summon this card from your hand if you control another Blackwing monster, and also it's really easy to use him to climb the ladder, to normal summon him first, and be able to search literally any Blackwing you want from your deck because it has to do with the attack points of the Blackwing monsters that you're going to search. And once per turn, he cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects. I remember back in the day when I would normal summon this guy or just put him on the board with a Black Whirlwind search when the deck was a lot slower, set a Torrential Tribute, and then pass, and then flip the Torrential Tribute after my opponent special summon all their cards because they didn't realize that I had the Torrential Tribute set. 3 copies of Bora the Spear. You want to play 3 copies of Bora the Spear because it's, in my opinion, the best one. You just special summon it from your hand if you control another Blackwing monster, and if you do, it inflicts piercing damage to your opponent every time it attacks. But you can normal summon it as well to get the piercing damage. It's just a kind of a lingering effect on him. Then we play 3 copies of Oster the South Wind. I love this card because I live in the South and it's kind of windy down here sometimes, which is really cool to have a card that's just dedicated to the South. But I live in Alabama, guys, if you haven't noticed. But this card is a really awesome card. But this card, when it's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Blackwing monster that's banished. It's kind of like Blizzard the Far North. It's a lot like Blizzard, where you can just instantly get that Blackwing that you need directly back onto the field. Like the one that you banish off your Simo is the one that you're normally going to special summon back to be able to get all those different plays that you want to get into to being able to special summon something like your copies of Full Armor Master, because you really want to get into Full Armor Master as quickly as possible in this deck to get into so many different plays in Blackwings. I mean, this card and Simo are like the bread and butter of the deck now. So it also has the ability that you can banish it from the graveyard and either place black feather counters on a Blackwing dragon you control equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, or place a wedge counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls that doesn't have one already, which is extremely powerful to be able to synchro into this card and then put wedge counters onto everything. Then I play 3 copies of Gale of the Whirlwind. Gale the Whirlwind is just so good to be able to special summon it, and it's a level 3 tuner. To be able to special summon to your side of the field and then half the attack points of an opponent's monster is just super, super, super good. 1 copy of Zapdos the Elite. Yes, I still have my German copy. It's really awesome to be able to play this card. Basically, what you do with this card is you bounce a card from your field back to your hand, special summon it, and then take 400 points of damage. It's really good, but you can only use this effect once per duel, which is extremely important to remember. I play 1 copy of Blizzard the Far North. I did bump this card back up to 1. When it's normal summon, you get to target a level 4 or lower Blackwing monster in your grave and just instantly special summon it, which can help us swarm and link onto the field. 1 copy of Gallus, the Midnight Sun. You get to special summon this card as well after if you only control 1 Blackwing monster. It's really important to have this card to be able to normal summon something like your Gale, which you normally wouldn't normal summon a Gale, but you normal summon the Gale in a tight spot and have Gallus to be able to synchro into something like Nothung or something else that you might want to synchro into. 1 copy of Steam. Steam is really good. I hope they don't hit Steam on the ban list, but they might. But Steam's really good because every time it's removed from the field, it gives you a token, and then you contribute a monster on your side of the field to special summon it back from the graveyard once per duel. Hamat in the Dust is another one that I play as a one of. Hamat in the Dust, basically you special summon it from your hand, and after you do special summon it from your hand, you can target another Blackwing monster you control and increase this level by that monster's. So, for instance, if I had a level 4 Blackwing, I could increase it by 4 to make it a 6. Like, for instance, if I had South Wind on the field, I could special summon Hamaten. Hamaten targets the South Wind and then increases to 6. Then I can synchro these two together in order to summon our full Armor Master yet again. It's all about that level 10 synchro now that you want to do. 1 copy of Orsha the Squall, which is just a good, easy way to climb up into other synchro plays off of 7s into 8s. It can special summon itself to your side of the field for free if you control another Blackwing monster, and then if it's used as synchro material, you can change the battle position of an opponent's monster. Now, I did drop 1 copy of Orshi the Squall to play the Blizzard, but you could definitely put Blizzard back down to 0 and play another copy if you want to speed the deck up where you don't have as many normal summons. But the normal summons that I really only play, that I only ever find myself normal summoning, is the Auster and the Blizzard, and maybe the Steam. Everything else just special summons itself, so it's not that big of a deal. So then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom to round off the deck. You can play any hand trap you want in this position, but I think Ash Blossom's the best one. But if you wanted to play something like Nibiru or something else, I side that. But you could definitely play it. And if you guys want to see a side deck video of what I play for the majority of all my side decks, definitely comment down below and we might get around to doing that. So definitely comment and let us know if you want to do a side deck video. I get comments from time to time wanting to know, hey, what's the side deck? But the side deck is something that's subject to player and what's being played in your particular area. So I usually don't go over a side deck anyways. So it just kind of depends. But if you guys want me to do a complete side deck video, definitely comment down below and we'll see what we can do about that one. So we don't play very many spells in here. We just play 3 copies of Call by the Grave, which yes, I do have the Prismatic Rares for Blackwings. We have to have that. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is just draw power for this deck. And then 3 copies of Black Whirlwind, which yes, I do have the Ultras. This is my favorite deck. It has to be hollowed out just about, except for the Ash Blossoms, because my super rares are in another deck right now. But Black Whirlwind basically is the big searcher of the deck. When a Blackwing monster is normal summoned, you get to add another Blackwing monster with attack less than that monster's, which is extremely important for the deck to be able to search deeper and deeper into the deck to be able to get those plays off that you really, really, really need. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into traps, which we actually play a considerable amount of traps in this deck. So we play 2 copies of Blackbird Close. Blackbird Close essentially is when a monster effect is activated that is controlled by our opponent. You can send a Blackwing monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation if you need to destroy that monster. Then you can special summon a Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck. If you control a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon, you can activate this card directly from your hand, which is extremely powerful to be able to just negate anything that you want to negate. Something that I've been getting a lot of comments about that I'm really glad that you guys brought to my attention is why don't I play Black Sonic? I didn't play Black Sonic in the previous videos because I didn't feel like I needed it, but the more and more and more I play Blackwings, the more I find that the only time that my Blackwing Full Armor Master ever gets outed is if he gets attacked. That's the only way they can get rid of this card. So I did actually bump Black Sonic up to 2 to play test around with, and I found myself really enjoying 2 copies of Black Sonic because when an opponent's monster declares an attack on a Blackwing monster you control, you can banish all attack position monsters your opponent controls, and if you control exactly 3 Blackwings and no other monsters, you can activate this card directly from your hand. So basically, you're going to have exactly 3. You normally have 3 on the field, and it's easy to summon 2 of these Full Armor Masters onto the field at the same time, and then have 1 other Blackwing monster like Zapdos the Elite or something like that on the field. And the only way that they're going to get past this is if they attack it. So you play the Black Sonic for that reason. Then I play 3 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card has won me tournaments. If you guys watch the ARG that I played in on the channel, I won a tournament playing Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You tribute a dark monster with 2,500 or more attack, which is extremely easy to do in Blackwings. And then you call either spells or traps, and your opponent has to show you their hand and every card that they have set, and you get to send all the spells or all the traps, whichever one you pick, to the graveyard. Which is extremely powerful to just set this on your first turn. I do like going first in Blackwings with the amount of traps that I have, because I want to go ahead and establish my full Armor Master onto the field before my opponent can really do anything at all. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let's get into the extra deck. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button, though. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Full Armor Master. He has 4 effects. The first one is that he's unaffected by all their card effects. See, so that's how, like, the only way they're going to get rid of him is to attack over him or tribute him with, like, a Kaiju or Nibiru or something. And then each time a monster you opponent controls activates its effect, you can put a wedge counter on that opponent's monster. And then after this card resolves, and then once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls with a wedge counter and take control of it. And then once per turn during your end phase, you can destroy all monsters on the field that have wedge counters. So that's why Auster the South Wind is so important to be able to do that. 1 copy of Blackwing Dragon to special summon our Blackbird Close, which we do have the Ghost Rare version, first ed. So definitely give us a like for that one. 1 copy of Obsidian Hawk Joe to be able to revive our other Blackwings back. Cool thing, my middle name is actually Joseph, and my username on PlayStation has Obsidian in it, which is really cool. So like this card was like made for me. Like, and I'm like 132nd Native American, so this card was actually like, I know it's not made for me, but like it feels really awesome, like, and I really love that. I really love this card. Like, it's one of my favorite cards of all time. 1 copy of Blackwing Armor Master. We do have the ulti. We have to. Basically, this card cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from battles involving it. And every time it's involved in a battle with an opponent's monster, you put a wedge counter on your opponent's monster. And after you do, you can pull the wedge counter out to make the opponent's monster go to 0 attack and defense, which is extremely powerful. 1 copy of Raikiri, the Rain Shower. You get to destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of Blackwing monsters you control, which is really cool. 1 copy of Chidori, which is my game ender usually. You synchro into this, and then it gains 300 attack for each Blackwing monster in your graveyard. And then when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Blackwing or a Wing Beast synchro type monster in your graveyard, except another copy of itself. 1 copy of Nothung. Nothung is really good to be able to get that additional normal summon, and it reduces the opponent's monster by 800 attack that you can target when it's special summoned, which is just really, really, really good, and it inflicts 800 points of damage to your opponent when it's special summoned as well. 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. You need this card to be able to stop your opponent from doing all sorts of shenanigans, just to give you that additional negate. 1 copy of Beals. Beals is really good in the deck because sometimes your opponent doesn't have an out to this. Sometimes I find myself just making Armor Master and not this, so if you do want to drop the Beals, you can, but I absolutely love playing Beals in here because it's extremely easy to make. 1 copy of Borreload or Boral Sword Dragon. Boral Sword is extremely, it's like extremely easy to make to be able to OTK your opponent with. 2 copies of Wee Witch because we need to boost our Blackwings up. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is that your Blackwing Full Armor Masters are unaffected by card effects, so he doesn't actually gain. Ice Beast Zerofine because Ice Beast Zerofine just has won me so many games. You may go 2 level 4 monsters and then you detach the material from it to be able to basically skill drain every face-up card on the field, and then it gains 300 for every card on the field, which is just absolutely crazy. And then 1 copy of Evil Sworn Exciton Knight, because people forget this card is actually a card, and you special summon. If you go second, you make this first, and then just board wipe your opponent, and you just punish them for making crazy boards. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a lot of fun to play. I highly recommend you guys playing Blackwings. It's definitely hands down my favorite deck of all time, and I have to say thank you so much for 11,000 subscribers, guys. I really appreciate all the time and energy you guys have put into this channel with me, and I really look forward to getting all the way up to 15,000, 20,000, 100,000 subscribers with all of you guys. So definitely comment down below, tell me what you think of this deck profile. We're going to go back to random deck profiles as you guys request them from now on. So comment down below, tell me what you guys want to see, and I have so many deck profiles in store for you guys. I've been building decks like crazy for this. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. See you around, guys.